How's it going, guys? Alpha here, bringing you my Week 1 NPL Season 3 Team Builder. And what more is there to say? The NPL is underway once again. Season 3 is upon us, and this week, as has been the tradition of the past 2 seasons, I am playing Ben, aka Infernus Gaming, and his Los Angeles Gogoats. I don't know if I hope I've had my draft recap uploaded by now. I'm in the process of editing it as I'm recording this team builder. But long story short, I love my team. Everybody's pretty much got pretty terrifying teams, honestly, and I'm kind of interested to see how this goes this season. But what we're working with this week, in terms of what our opponent Ben is working with, you see Tapu Koko, Alolan Ninetales, Landorus T, Ferrothorn, Mega Blastoise, Lucarios, Alolan Sandslash, Dragalge, Tangela, Incineroar, which is his Z-Mon, so it can use any Z move it can get, and Shuckle. What I'm expecting Ben to bring based on my team and based on what his team represents in terms of threats, definitely see Koko coming, definitely see Mega Blastoise coming, almost positive I'll see Lando T, pretty positive about Incineroar, and the rest is kind of a toss-up. I could see Lucario, I could see Ferrothorn, I could see Dragalge, I could see Shuckle. Not so much Alolan Sandslash, Alolan Ninetales, or Tangela, but I'm not going to rule them out, but I think I have them covered nonetheless. What are we working with for my team this season, or this week? As you can see, we're going to be bringing Victini, Crobat, Delmise, Gardevoir, Mamoswine, and Gastrodon, and yeah, so first off, Victini, our boy Orange Julius, the team captain, if you will, kind of, sort of, not really, but we'll see how that goes. Holding the Life Orb this week with Victory Star because it's its only ability. With V-Create, Glaciate, Thunderbolt, and U-Turn, 236 in attack, 84 in special attack, 188 in speed. With a naive nature, the 188 in speed guarantees that I outspeed his Lando T as long as it's not scarfed, and the 84 in special attack guarantees that I OHKO defensive Lando T that's not specially defensive, but you don't typically see specially defensive, max HP Lando T basically, after rock damage with Glaciate. The attack just allows me to blow things back with V-Create. Thunderbolt hits Mega Blastoise really hard, especially if he brings it physical, expecting me to bring Bolt Strike. It'll hit even harder. Pretty much the only thing on this team that I can't really touch with Victini is Incineroar, which I have U-Turn, which is neutral, but that's about it. V-Create's resisted, Glaciate's resisted. Thunderbolt's neutral, but U-Turn will do more damage because of my spread, I think. I'm pretty sure. It depends on his spread, I guess. And that's basically his entire team covered with just Victini, honestly. Shuckle's going to take a couple of hits, but there's nothing Shuckle can do to me, so it's kind of like, you know, a moot point. Lucario's not taking hits, Alolan Sandslash isn't taking hits, Ferrothorn, Ninetales. The only things on his team that are really taking hits are Lando, Mega Blastoise, and potentially Dragalge. That's pretty much it. Nothing else. I don't even think Akaberry, Ferrothorn, or Lucario, or Sandslash, or Ninetales would be able to take a V-Create, so it's a pretty good position to be in. This thing should just be able to take lives this week, and U-Turn gives me that crucial switch initiative, which is great. And yeah, so next up we have Azura, our Mega Gardevoir, holding the Gardevoir right with, that's not supposed to be Trace, is it? Yes it is. Yes it is. With Calm Mind, Substitute, Hyper Voice, and Focus Blast. Basically, this is kind of a set where I just felt Gardevoir just kind of fit with my team comp this week. I didn't really particularly see it being that effective necessarily. I mean, it hits things like, obviously, what does it hit this week? He has a lot of checks to Gardevoir, but I'm bringing it specifically because it gives me a reliable switch into things like a Draco Meteor from a Dragalge, even though I have to be careful because obviously it's a poison type as well. It gives me a switch into Close Combat from Lucario, I guess, or RS Sphere, or whatever he wants to bring. It's also a pretty okay switch into anything special because of its massive special bulk. But in general, maybe I should actually pack Psyshock instead of Calm Mind. I think I'm going to do that. I don't need Calm Mind, actually. Yeah, it doesn't make sense to try to set up with this thing, and Psyshock hits more of his team, with the exception of, like, Incineroar. Yeah, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, Size Shock instead of Psychic. Yeah. And yeah, so it's pretty straightforward. 252 in attack. I mean in HP in attack. Jesus Christ. In HP, 68 in special attack and 188 in speed with a timid nature. This allows me once I Mega Evolve to outspeed Landorus once again. 60, and because it's Gen 7, we don't have to worry about speed. The speed packing protect to make sure we outspeed on turn 1 because speed. It's the mega speed that it goes by, so I don't have to worry about being outsped basically unless it's scarfed. The 68 in special attack is just for, you know, hitting harder. It's there because the rest of my spread was intended to allow this thing to outspeed things and take hits. Yeah, if I get a sub up with this thing, there's nothing on this team that can bypass substitute naturally, with the exception of, I think Alolan Ninetales might get Hyper Voice, but it's not like Pixelate boosted or anything. It's just regular Hyper Voice, I'm pretty sure. Other than that, I don't think he has anything that gets Infiltrator, and I know he doesn't get anything else that really bypasses sub, so it's a pretty good situation to be in. Focus Blast is huge on Mega Gardevoir this week because it hits things like Alolan no, not Alolan Ninetales, Ferrothorn, Lucario's, Alolan Sandslash, Incineroar, things like that. Overall, it's not exactly, I'm not expecting a huge week from the thing, but it's still powerful enough that it could just break through walls regardless, so who knows. Next up, we have my boy Big Frank, the Mamoswine, holding the Life Orb with Thick Fat, Ice Shard, Earthquake, Icicle Crash, and Stealth Rock, 12 in HP, 252 in attack, 4 in defense, 12 in special defense, and 228 in speed. 228 in speed guarantees that I outspeed max speed Sandslash, I'm pretty sure was the calc. I'm not worried about outspeeding a max speed Mega Blastoise because I don't think he'll bring max speed Mega Blastoise. I mean, if he does, that's good on him, but I'm not really worried about it. Basically, he doesn't really have many switch-ins to Earthquake. Actually, he has 2 switch-ins to Earthquake. He has Tangela and he has Lando T, and that's it. But Lando T can't switch into an Icicle Crash. So really, and neither can Tangela for that matter. So his team is very, very, very weak to Mamoswine, and I'm really, really hoping that this pays off because Mamoswine should be able to put in huge work, especially in combination with Victini this week, and I'm hoping and praying that I don't fuck it up. Rocks are going to be huge, of course, so I probably would lead against this thing, or with this thing, especially if I see Landorus, because it gives me a chance to scout out what his Landorus set is and force him to make the decision between keeping his Landorus around and getting Rocks up, so that's really nice right off the bat. And overall, like I said, this thing just, there's nothing that switches into an Adamant Life Orb, Max Attack, Earthquake, / Icicle Crash, so I'm really hoping that I can put in work with this thing. Next up we have our Delmise Davy Jones, holding the Assault Vest with Steelworker, obviously its only ability, Gyro Ball, Rapid Spin, Power Whip, and Earthquake, 252 in HP, 252 in defense, and 4 in special defense, with a relaxed nature for that sweet Gyro Ball boost. This thing's basically coming because immunities, things like that, no Sleep Powder, no fighting or normal type moves, ability to spin. I'm only benefiting from 2 of the 3 stabs this week in Gyro Ball and Power Whip, but still it's going to be useful because Power Whip hits Mega Blastoise really hard. Gyro Ball hits everything but Mega Blastoise and Tapu Koko really hard. And I guess Ferrothorn. And everything that I can't really hit with that, with those 2 moves, I can, with the exception of Lando. Lando is pretty much the only Mon that I can't really hit particularly hard with this Mon. And I guess Tangela. Tangela I'm not going to hit too hard against either. But in general, it's just a Mon that is more here for bulk. It could definitely dish out some punishment even without any investment in attack. And it's huge for being able to keep hazards off my field because my team is a little bit weak to hazards this week. Obviously, Victini and Crobat both take 25%. Everybody else takes neutral, I'm pretty sure, except for Wendy. Yes, Wendy is resisted. Speaking of Wendy, next up we have Wendy, our Gastrodon, holding the leftovers with Storm Drain, Scald, Recover, Toxic, and Ice Beam. Pretty straightforward. 252 in attack, 252 in defense. Why do I keep saying that? 252 in HP, 252 in attack. No, not attack, defense. 252 in HP, 252 in defense, 4 in special attack, with a bold nature. Basically, this thing is our primary physical wall this week because a lot of his physical mons struggle against Gastrodon. Very much so, actually. And of course, with Storm Drain, one of his primary special mons can't do garbage to Gastrodon. So it's a very, very important thing to have Gastrodon around to eat up Skull, to eat up Hydro Pumps, to eat up any physical hit except for like Power Whip, which is fantastic. Toxic things, burn things. Hit Lando with Ice Beam would be really, really clutch. Recover, you know, just stay around and be annoying. It's a great Pokemon to have around, and I'm really, really hoping that it holds as a wall core this week because I don't have much in the defensive end realistically. Next up we have Mira, our Crobat, holding the Black Sludge this week with Infiltrator, Roost, Sludge Bomb, Nasty Plot, and Heat Wave. 28 HP, 236 in special attack, and 52 in speed with the Timid Nature. This thing puts in massive amounts of work against his entire team. Banking on a speed tie though, because Tapu Koko is also base 130 speed, and there is nothing I can do except for going like Wakan Berry. That's not even the right berry, is it? Yes, it is. I know my shit. Except for going Wakan Berry, there's nothing I can do to take a hit from Tapu Koko. So, basically, I'm banking on the speed tie to be able to sweep with Crobat if it comes to that, because things that I could set up on with Crobat, Ferrothorn if it's not packing Gyro Ball, what else? Tangela, Shuckle, for the most part, Landorus, unless he's packing Stone Edge or Rock Slide, whatever. It's a good opportunity, and because it's so fast and because it threatens a lot of his team with Heat Wave and Sludge Bomb, Tapu Koko, Ninetales, Ferrothorn, Physical Blastoise, Lucario, Sandslash, it really threatens a lot of his team. I'm really banking on that. The only thing I really can't touch is the Dragalge, which is kind of a problem actually, because I don't have any switch-ins to Dragalge either. But if I can get the Dragalge out of the way, Crobat has a huge potential to sweep as long as I want to speed type Koko. That's a huge if, because that is a 50-50 unless he doesn't run max speed Koko. But if he does run max speed Koko, I'm willing to take that risk, because I've learned through test matches that Crobat's kind of not necessary, but definitely a good thing to have around in case it does come down to sweeping, because it outspeeds everything but Koko. There's nothing more to say really, so that's a really good thing to have. The thing I have to watch out for this week, Ben having Shuckle this season is not as big of a deal because he doesn't have Mega Metacham to go with it, so that's a really nice thing to have. The one thing, Z moves on Incineroar, I need to do my research on that first of all, because I'm not really sure, other than Incinerium, whatever it's called. I don't really know what else Incineroar does, so that's going to be interesting. Need to be careful about what's in when he has his Psychic Terrain or his Electric Terrain up with Koko. I need to be careful about Lando. Make sure he doesn't try to run any Double Dance shenanigans on me, because that could be a problem. Mega Blastoise is always going to be a problem, but I do have a pretty good check if he doesn't pack Ice Beam with Assault Visdelmies, and even what's her name? Gastrodon can handle it pretty well as well. Yeah, but that's the team as it stands for now. I'm really, really excited to get into this season, and I'm sure Ben and I will have a great match. We always do. But that's all I have for you guys today. If you guys loved the video, show support, be sure to hit the like button, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Also remember to subscribe, you know the droplets staying. Don't forget to share, because sharing is caring. Follow me on Twitter because I do updates and stuff. You know, videos are coming out. It's a good way to get in contact with me, and sometimes they're kind of funny. I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Peace out.